Footy's back. Banana, baba, footy, pie, footy, pie, footy, pie. Welcome to Footy Unfilterated. I'm your host, James Clements. And with me on the other side of this here screen is everyone's favourite Mark McVeigh supporter, Jamie Graham lover. No one knows. It's Jez. Jez, what's going on?
Oh, just loving life. No cricket practice this time. I've clicked myself out. So
Well, you are making some...
just happy that it's almost over for us.
Nice. Just don't make any missteps. So we had clicky ponting last week. Now we've got misstep and Jez.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's a pretty big misstep if you ask me. We'll get to that in a second. Round 22 is done. Footy's fully back.
Yeah.
It's so back, it's almost over. We're going to wrap up round 22. A weird round where we had some awesome games and some absolute shockers. So we'll do some weekly awards, some ENRs, some very brief ENRs, and some round 23 previews and picks. Ladder check will be in there again because it's kind of strange. Like, I think we've got most of the teams are sort of set-ish, but there's still some permutations still to figure out. So we'll do that as well. So I think we should just do it, Jez. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
It's footy without the ball. It's Footy Unfilterated.
Watch as big time slowly grinding to a complete halt. Watch as we all take our places, stating this is not our fault.
Footy pie. Yeah, don't make any missteps this week, Jez. I'll tell you what. Journalism. How good is it sometimes? Like the old adage, what is it? Like a busted clock is right at least two times a day.
Twice a day.
You've got some of my former colleagues in the really big building in South Bank and out there just digging up some pretty gnarly stories here in Geelong. So Jay Clark just goes out and goes 1-2 Costa Zoo on Geelong and the Jake Collin. I always screw up for trying to say Colin Ashney's name, and College Ashney just, it does my head in every time I say it. I'm like, oh God, I got to remember how to say that. And has done a great, and basically from following from the Jay Clark reporting on all this, you've also got Tom Morris, you got Caro Wilson, like basically just going hammer and tongs. Like it's all coming from all angles for the AFL, who, as you can imagine, Jez, have taken all of this on board and handled it really well, right? As they always would. Amazing.
As they tend to do.
It's just, that's what they do. So
it is, you're right though. The one time where the over-analysis of footy has actually worked in favour of someone other than Geelong is fantastic. I was very, very interested, and the thought didn't even cross my mind about how closely you can compare this situation with the Essendon situation, of which, let's not go into it. I've heard enough about it in my lifetime. But it's, I've actually quite enjoyed Jay Clark's article.
It's essentially breaking down the secret concussion waiver that it sort of worked out. So Colo and the team and his family, his agent, and all this sort of stuff. I don't think there's like two sort of parts to that as well, right? There's like the working with them to sort of essentially take away his workplace rights when it comes to concussions and go, oh, how about you play, but you agree in writing to like not do anything about it and you understand the risk you're taking, etc. And the other part is obviously how the Cats hid it and made it secret from the AFL and the AFLPA. And then the more reporting comes out today about, they basically copied the same thing they did with the VFL player, which they'd already sort of done, but also hadn't apparently sent to the AFL. And you're like, well, I don't know if this is really helping you standing here, folks. And then on top of that, obviously the bloke who's chairman of the AFL board, Craig Drummond,
was the guy who signed.
The really cool part about it was that he was in charge of Geelong while this was all happening. Was all like, this is all great, and never sort of deigned it of any sort of import to, bring it to light at any other point. And So to dig into this one extra that little bit, the AFL tried their absolute hardest to sweep this under the rug as quickly as possible. Case closed. League is satisfied that there was no wrongdoing. That was what Ralphie tweeting that out, I think, on Saturday, and everybody just went, "Wait a minute, that doesn't."
It was almost instant that they tweeted that the AFL said, "Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, we don't see anything wrong."
Remarkable. And then suddenly you've got Craig Drummond apologising on Sunday. You've got Andrew Dillon doing his classic Andrew Dillon masterclass of media manipulation, doing the rounds this morning and just getting grilled by Caro and Jared asking some pretty pointed questions, but not following on anything else. It's like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure the only way Jared gets hard now is if it's got something to do with ARC or umpires. But it was a bit weird. So now, wow, what a mess. Like now we're talking 6-figure fine because it did come out like, yeah, it looked like Geelong weren't going to be sanctioned in any way, shape or form for this. And every other team was like, what the hell are you talking about? And as you said, this is like directly related to the Essendon drug saga. Like this is about player safety. It's about the way that you sort of then approach that from an organizational level. And all the other teams and all the other fines that have been levied over the last couple of years, obviously Carlton this year for Elijah Hollands, $75K, where they had actually, gone through the motions of making sure he was all right. And it's like this very, very
trying to support
very strange situation on the ground. But then Ken Hinckley getting fined for making an aeroplane gesture.
$20K.
And Geelong just, it's all good, nothing to see here. So the pressure was applied to them. The AFL did their usual thing of backflipping, twisting and turning, and basically trying to follow the court of public opinion as best they can. And it's really fun to see, like, AFL journalists, like, basically, it's red meat to a dog kind of vibes at this point. Chumming the water. It's
just chumming. It's
awesome.
The water.
So I'm enjoying it. Like each day, there's just like something more going on, and like as it sort of unravels throughout the day, it's like, oh, but this is what they did with the VFL one as well. That doesn't make it any better.
That makes it worse. The fact that they've done it before and they're still doing it. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera because it was doing my own head in. But the fact that they're using that as an argument is just like, what are you doing? Like, I know they're a little bit behind the times down there, and they're just getting ADSL internet and gas that's not in a bottle, but surely they're not that far behind that they think that's okay.
Yeah, I think the entire idea of like the statutory right of duty of care to an employee should still be like a pretty big part of your contracts, and trying to get rid of that with like another contract seems very sus. And that's exactly why they didn't file it with the AFL or the AFLPA. And I don't know how you can characterize that as a misstep, Jez, and like how, but we're all taking responsibility. We're taking responsibility. It's like, it doesn't seem like anyone's taking responsibility. And it's also not helped by the fact that AFL House is like replete with like either former Geelong power brokers, supporters, people who have, known the...
And vice versa.
Exactly.
Like, don't forget, you've got the former AFL, what was he, operations manager or whatever, is now the CEO of Geelong. So it's not like it's not, you've got Cotton On deals, you've got Brad Scott's employment. And there's obviously been rumours of, players being given farms and all sorts of different things for as long as I can remember. Depending on who you talk to, you could find out if it's true pretty easily. And, where there's smoke, there's fire. But I don't know. They just seem to have a free pass from Government House to basically do whatever they want. They get they finish a wing to their mansion and they get to start a new one almost straight away. If that place doesn't seat 250,000 by the year 2040, with people being flown to their seats in helicopters and I don't know what, there doesn't seem to be a shortage of money given to them, and certainly there's not much coming back the other way. So, I think something's a bit fishy down there at Geelong.
I like it. I think, Taxpayer Stadium will be rivaling that massive one in like Islamabad or something pretty soon at this point, right? Like, quarter of a billion people can fit into it. Let's go. Let's go.
It'll be like what did they do at Staple? Is it Staple? No, what's the new one? Intuit
Yeah.
Dome. They'll have
AI drones and stuff.
They'll have a roof with a jumbotron on it sometimes.
Well, I mean, they are taking leaves out of the Clippers playbook and just like paying their players under the table, I guess, and like coming up with fake deals. I mean, allegedly. So anyway, it's a mess, and Colo is sort of like left on the outer at this point as well. Like, not at training this week already, and it's a bit. It's a big story, and I'll hit on this in a year quickly later. But look, I kind of think once you get down these roads of like, you do see like a lot of the commentary from the mouth breathers out there of like, this should just appear like this should go for every footballer because it's like they understand it's a contact sport. It's like, that's not what we're talking about, right? This is like, if you had a job and your employer's like, look, we've got some pretty big trucks and forklifts and stuff here, and we understand that it could be dangerous, and you're a booze hound. So what we're going to do is like allow you to only drink 8 beers during the day while you're working. Like, it's just so dumb. And like the entire reason we have like so many levels to concussion protocols, like on the ground and stuff like that, is so that the duty of care of the club for the players, for the medicos, and that's like goes both ways as well, right? The medicos have to be insured, the players have to be insured, all this sort of stuff. And the concussion protocols are as stringent as they are to avoid exactly this sort of situation. And so this is like almost a zoom out meta view of it, and it's impossibly.
And the reality is that the AFL has to be seen as a workplace. And that's what it comes down to. If I go to work and I trip over something that is not supposed to be there or was a hazard, then my employer's liable for my medical bill. So that'd be like my boss coming to me and saying, look, we're going to have to sack you, Jez, but if you sign this bit of paper that says we're allowed to put you in these dangerous situations where you might lose an arm or a leg or an eye, then, we can probably, keep you on. And, what are you going to do? Like I forget who said it, but any player, and he's probably 30 odd. So he's in his last couple of years of a contract. Any player in those last couple of years is going to say yes. Yes, I just want to play on. I just want to keep going. I'll do whatever I can to keep going.
Yep.
And I reckon if you had asked some of those players who'd medically retired earlier in the year from the Bulldogs and Collingwood, they would have signed a waiver like that in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
But it's not safe, because then what happens if he gets a concussion and God forbid passes away? What happens then?
Yep. And this is it. He was sort of at the point where he was mulling retirement, and this is how this, at the end of his last contract, heading into the next one, and his brother was medically retired from concussions. And like, come on, man! Like, at some point, you're just going to go, "What are we doing? We should make sure that all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, and we've put everything on the little lowercase J's on College Asney." And away we go. And they just didn't. So, yeah, great job, everybody.
And I think this isn't going to help the obviously the insurer's already pulled out for insuring the league and players against head knocks. And this isn't going to help that. So we're going to get to a point where no player, regardless of history of concussions, is going to be insured for head knocks, and that's going to change the game, the workplace it is, the AFL, grassroots footy, the whole lot. It's going to change everything. So this will inevitably be, and it's probably one thing that's not reported. This will inevitably be a massive kick in the guts for the game if it results in insurance being harder and harder to get for any level of football. There's nothing worse than watching kids running around at the age of where your boys are at the moment. Mine are obviously a fair bit older, but having to wear helmets and stuff like that, because in my opinion, and I've done a little bit of research, and I've boxed in the past where it's a bit of conjecture as to whether you need to wear a helmet, because they do say that it can, in some instances, promote contact because you feel safer wearing a helmet. I don't see the point of them personally. I think if you get hit hard enough, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a piece of padding that thick. The brain's still rattling around in there. And the head's just got to be looked after at all costs. And if we don't keep pushing for that, we're going to have a very, very different game of footy, and it might not be one that we enjoy as much as we do at the moment.
Well said. Yeah, I think it's just like tip of the iceberg stuff, and I don't think it's going to go away.
Oh, the can of worms, Jim. It's slowly being opened, and I think this is going to blow the lid off it.
The really cool thing is we can trust the AFL to do the right thing. Right, Tex Walker's retiring, and it was announced today. 19 years, 316 games, 706 goals, and one empty seat booked next to him on the way home after a grand final that they did not win. Tex, I know I think the old man and I were at a game, Carlton Adelaide, like when he did his knee. Like this is a really long time ago now, which is crazy because that's how long he's been playing. And I've always had a bit of
I think he's done it a couple of times too.
And it's like this was just a pretty innocuous on the wing, well, sort of, half forward flank at the G came down. You're like, oh, God, there goes Tex. And look, I think we can definitely say better footballer than bloke.
Yeah. There's a couple of instances in his past that have probably been conveniently forgotten.
It's just remarkable.
Don't need to
like all the enshrinement you'll get of Tex for the next little bit. Just remember the bad stuff because it's all part of the glorious tapestry of life.
It seems to have gone the way of the concussion waiver down at Geelong. Just that rug. It's
the bell end waiver.
The rug and swept and.
But anyway, it's kind of sad. It's pretty funny that he's been as good as he has been for as long as he has been, and had a nice little sort of resurgence over the last couple of years. But it's probably fine for him to go now. I feel like it'd be interesting to see if the Crom could pull out the win this year. Like that'd be a pretty nice way for him to go out. But also, again, horrible bloke. So yeah, I'm not really rooting for him. And also, it's Adelaide. So. Other ones, what have we got? Hurd versus McVeigh for the Dons gig, but also a bit of Jamie Graham. It's all happening right now. Jez, how are you feeling about it? They don't know if they're going to have a decision this week. I think they've got McVeigh's already coaching in Sydney, and I think that's who you play this week, right?
Correct. Sometimes saying nothing says a lot, Jim, and Essendon are not very good at saying nothing. They seem to have to say something, even if it means nothing. I have no idea. Like they've come out and said we're going to do this process and we'll announce it at this time, and then they get close. Oh, actually, we're going to do this. So we're going to have 4, but we might have 5 candidates. But it just depends on whether the 5th one wants to do it. Oh, just shut up. Just say nothing. You don't have to say anything. Let the media run wild and make stories up because guess what? They're going to do it anyway. So you might as well go, look, we've got a process. We're going to follow that process through, and when we've come to the end, we'll let you know how we go. I have no idea. It would not surprise me if James Hurd's the man, but I also hope that it is only out of those 3 we've mentioned, Hurd, McVeigh and Jamie Graham. I don't like the idea of Murray Davis, another random name from nowhere. I'm sure he's quite good at what he does, but we don't need a guy who is we've been there and done that before. Matthew Knight's ring a bell. Carlton have obviously been there and done that before. A lot of clubs have, and it just hasn't worked. So I think as much as I don't have resisted, I think Hurd's probably as good as the other two there, McVeigh and Jamie Graham, having been untried. At least we know Herd can coach, maybe. And I think it's an itch that they probably feel they have to scratch. I don't think they do, but if you look at the nuffies that are Essendon supporters, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them, but there are far bigger mouth breathing nuffs than me, who just the Essendon pages, Jim. It's like Reddit on steroids. Like if you want to laugh, just look up any Essendon fan group on Facebook, and you'll get some of the most ridiculous. And the worst part is, in their arguments, they're so irrational, but the way they put them together, they could write novels and manifestos probably closer to what they could write, some of them, and probably are working on it now. So,
jeez.
Yeah, but it's... I just want it over with Jim.
Love it.
I just want it over.
My favourite is the Murray Davis one. It's like, what? Oh, he's the rock and roll candidate because he goes to gigs.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good. So his brother was the guy who was in charge of Secret Sounds, and which is the sort of company behind Splendor in the Grass. So that was his brother a little bit in the olden days, and always a great operator. Like I loved the people behind Splendor, and then sort of a little bit above their skis and all the problems that they had with locations, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of cool that he's got like such a weird unheralded candidate. And then I'm like, you're talking about his brother. I'm like, wait, is that
just randomly out of nowhere too?
So pretty funny. And the last big bit of news, I guess, this week is the Butters sort of ongoing saga. And now the Pies have waded in with the biggest contract they've ever thrown at an incoming free agent. 1.8 mil a year for 8 years, which is pretty crazy. My favorite, though, was probably Jack Rewalt trying to convince everybody on the couch that no, Richmond's call is probably the best place for him to go. The other members of that on the couch
Jack
were visibly stifling their disbelief and laughter at a bloke. Again, this is sad because he's probably suffering from CTE if he believes that. Because I think one of them gently pointed out to him, was like, this is not a team that will be contending for premierships in the next 4 to 5 years, Jack. And he's like, you can try to see him talk his way out of it. And you're like,
he would have almost choked on his own spittle trying to make that point. He's I wonder if he had to sign a waiver to be allowed on.
Yeah, Fox Footy have just got him signing waivers left, right, and centre. I think so. They're not being held responsible for anything that he blurts out. But Butters, look, you know, we've talked about this plenty on the show throughout the year. Like I think the off-season chatter, movement stuff during the season, just if we're going to go and do it, let's do a mid-season trade period. I'm happy with that. I'd rather talk about it and do it then because it's applicable. But the sort of constant bubble when nothing can happen until the end of the year. It's just
exactly
like he's going to make a decision.
And the best part is when he came out and just flatly refuted what I think it was your mate Tom Morrison said. And I just love that he's actually been a bit of a breath of fresh air with the way he's handled it, because he hasn't just ignored questions. He's just gone, no, that's wrong. Why would I say that? Who said that? I never said that. That's great. I like that. But I think the best thing that could happen here is he actually stays at Port Adelaide, because I don't think anyone has reported that he's going to stay. So if he turns around and signs a 8-year deal with Port Adelaide, that would be the best result, I think, in this instance.
Well,
that's what I'm going for that, Jim. That's what I want.
That would be the funniest outcome by far. Like I think
that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's plenty of chatter. Like it's the Pies actually desperately need somebody like him as well, like to go with Dacos. You've got to go. He's getting up there.
Or to replace Dacos when he goes to Tassie.
That's it. And then, I don't know, but the Dogs are the other one. You got Richmond. Like it's Geelong is the other one too, right? And you're like, all right, cool. He'll make his decision when he makes his decision. But, I mean, if he goes to Geelong, I think you get a free panel van, a surfboard, and some sort of farm down,
There's plenty of land between Bacchus Marsh and Geelong,
Well,
so
yeah,
they probably own half
Danger's
of it.
got all the good stuff near Moggs Creek, so it's all over.
Yeah, so he can have the stuff the other side of the prison there.
So wait a minute, why am I in Port
But-
Arlington? This sucks. Yeah,
Yeah.
Port Arlington's not got much trouble.
No, he'd like the Barwon prison side of it because he is from Darley, so he's probably got relatives in there.
Reports and stuff this week, not much. Darcy Byrne-Jones got the 1 week ban. You had Cozzy getting fined for staging, which I thought was funny, and Papley fined for tripping. I think Jack Martin ran into an umpire and got pinged some cash as well. But obviously the biggest sort of story this week.
No, I think they waived it because he's from Geelong.
That's it. They just put in a quick appeal. Nothing to see here. But the obvious big ones are the injuries. Nasiah Wangani-Miller goes out 8 minutes into that game. I was just, because I was running late getting out at the door. I walked into the pub as he was essentially grabbing his leg. And I'm like, what's happened? Oh, no. And I think it was just like a absolute sort of grubber of a start to that game as well. And at that point, like the bartender's like, oh, your boys better win this now. I'm like, yeah, they better. And anyway, so moderate grade hamstring strain. Ross Lyon sounded very sad about it all after the game. Oh, it's probably season done, you know. It's just like, yeah, it's just an arrow to the heart, really. And they also had like another sort of bunch of injuries as well. So like not Bobby Hill.
Brad Hill.
Jeez. Brad Hill comes down on his leg and like hyperextends it. Looks like he's just popped his ACL. And then he's back on the ground.
Yep.
Silvani is just getting roughed up. The funniest one was probably TDK getting absolutely towed by Pitto, his old mate.
He clearly had a pinch nerve there
shoulder.
because I've had that before, and he moved his arm a certain way. You could just see it pinching, like just by the look on his face. He was He actually, it's funny because Naz looked like our good friend of the show, Gary Lyon, when he did his hammy on the Footy show that time, and TDK's face looked like Gary Lyon on the stretcher that they played off him. So, big day for Gary
Liam
Lyon.
Ryan came off as well and was down in the change rooms. But obviously Mason Wood was the other big one, right? He had an actual proper calf strain, I think. And so, they were just winded.
I thought it was quite amusing how they've been reporting that Naz is out for the rest of the regular season at least. It's like, you guys ain't making finals now. Sorry. Not without him.
He was...
not when your game plan goes down in the first quarter.
Yeah, I guess that is obviously like having someone as good as he is, plucking him out of it mid-game, the entire game, like when your game plan is give it to Naz and he'll figure it out.
Gone.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. Speaking of which, let's wrap up some games really quickly. Round 22, game wraps. The Dogs North, this was hilarious. How good with the Roos, 177 beat the Dogs. Paul Curtis was LDU was awesome in that game too. Absolutely
unreal.
And
the Warlord. The Warlord was unreal.
He
was just everywhere.
The cool thing was they only mentioned it once or twice on the broadcast. Look at George Warlord. Look at him. Warlord. I'm like, I love George.
He was.
He was everywhere.
He was awesome.
The tackling, I love that, they've sort of brought up, this has happened the last couple of weeks, right? Like his closing speed and how he just comes from nowhere and then just like puts the jets on. You think you've got him beat and then he's wrapping you up and just dragging you down like a lion taking down a gazelle. It's awesome.
And he hits them so hard too that you know that they're feeling it when they.
He looks like
Jim.
I love it.
Yeah, I love this game. I was battling to stay awake because I'd had a pretty big day, but I managed to stay up until basically the final siren. But just the last two quarters were just a frenetic pace. There was a lot of skill errors and a lot of clearly not sure where to go by North, and the Dogs are clearly underdone with their injury list and all that. But geez, North were just They had a bit of the Essendon game plan going, round and round in circles and handball it backward, forward, side to side. But they obviously are a better side. But I thought it was a big step forward for them because this is a sort of game where they would normally lose.
Well, it's the first time they've beaten a top 8 team with Clarko as coach.
And they actually hung on and won a game. And I think that no matter what, as long as they don't get blown away in their last couple of games, I think that was probably a good way for them, a good sign of things to come. But if you're a North supporter, though, whose jersey are you buying? Are you getting a George Wardlaw? I really can't speak right now. George Wardlaw, or are you going to go with the Paul Curtis, or are you going to go with LDU?
Cheese.
Or are you going to go with the cheese, or are you going to go with the Suva?
Plenty of options.
You've got some options there, haven't you?
Love that.
It's exciting.
They were really good. That was a really fun Thursday, like a perfect Thursday night game. Like for some of the other games that we had across the weekend, this was awesome over Thursday. Friday, we had the Wizard pulling off the amazing disappearing act and doing absolutely nothing as Hawthorn got their heads kicked in by the Lions. What a turnaround. 125-58 after getting belted by my Blues last week to the tune of, 76, I think, in the end. This was, like Fags was saying after, it's like, look, I trusted them to sort of bounce back and I didn't have to put the hard word on them or anything. It's just like they knew and they absolutely shellacked the Hawks. So, yeah.
There's one word I've got for the Hawks, pretenders.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like the pressure, like it's the games where the pressure just goes up and they can't kind of match it. It's a little bit downhill skier, front runnery kind of vibes, I think, for the Hawks. And Brisbane just gave them the old 1-2 Costa Zoo and say goodnight. And then we had the game of the year again. We've had about 4 or 5 games of the year so far this year, but this was awesome. 113-109. The D's beat Freo. Oh, Lord. We were at the house watching this one before we had to – where were we going? I think the Squids had gotten home. I was watching this and we had to jump in the car. Went to Ballarat later that afternoon. So basically once this finished, I'm like, right, now I'm going to pack the car. We're going to go. And it was remarkable. Like when they took the lead from those like couple of back-to-back like little Bailey Fritsch goals and just like the little snaps and everything. But Cozzy was absolutely everywhere. Then Gawn just puts them on his back right at the very end and sort of carries them over the line. But there's, I think it might have been Lee Matthews saying that this is the first time he's considered Melbourne a contender all year after this. And you're like, yeah, that makes 100% sense because that was a contender game.
Absolutely.
You beat the best team in the AFL. So I think we can consider you legit. And it was unreal. Like between Fritsch, Cozzy, Gawn, you had just the likes of, I don't know, like Sparrow, you got Bowie being awesome. They're just, I don't know, the G, they're a pretty frightening prospect. And there you go. What a game.
Well, the scary thing too, Jim, is that for once Fremantle kick straight. And I've been saying for weeks that they're going to kick straight and annihilate someone, and they finally did it. I think Jai Miss, who's been probably the biggest culprit, kicked 5 straight.
It was awesome. Yeah, the prancing pony, causing all sorts of, he kicked 4 straight as well. Right? It's just, this was an awesome game.
But they still lost. They lost. Yeah, I watched the first half of this, and then I went to watch a mate play local footy not far from here, not far from home, and was following along on the phone. Watched a little bit of it here and there. Then heard the game I was watching was not very close, but I heard the crowd actually go, "Oh, the D's won!" It was almost like just the whole crowd at this game I was at was sort of following. I'll go to the D's, and then I was like, no, look, they just won. I dead set thought they were probably going to get pipped at the post, but it's hard to not have them as a genuine contender, especially given that the game is played on an afternoon at the MCG. Yeah. So if they get there.
Awesome game. Bailey Fritsch taking the mark to salt the game away. It was a metre and a half out of bounds. He takes the mark, winds down the clock. It was ridiculous, but amazing. Like the back and forth that they had everyone had an answer, it felt like, at all times. And then, the way that the D's just sort of managed to hold their nerve, it was absolutely unreal. Petty has been really good, and it's just an awesome game.
Just solid this week.
So, game of the year again. Sydney belted Port Adelaide 167-70. It was always going to happen. I may have placed a sneaky wager on it, and that hit. Same thing happened with Geelong and Essendon. Sneaky wager on that one. It hit. Geelong belted them 117-50. And then Adelaide Richmond. We talked about this last week in one of the, was it the Slevo's Punters Corner, to go all three of these games at the line. And after two of them, you're feeling pretty good. And then Richmond nearly beat Adelaide 63-54. Piercing down rain. It was horrible. Isaac Rankin plays one of the great games as well. And I know Sam Lawler misses that shot, and you're like, geez, what is
rough? It was pretty rough, but geez, they were plucky, weren't they? The Tigers. I was I wasn't going to watch. I went out. I watched most of the first half of Essendon until we kicked our first goal close to half time, which was ace. The Sydney Port game didn't interest me, especially when I saw that it was, I think, 20-22 at quarter time. Then all of a sudden it was 72-28. Yep. 8 goals in a row or something. The Swans piled on, but so I didn't actually watch any of that. And I thought, oh no, Adelaide and Richmond's going to be ordinary. I went out for tea with some friends and got home and thought, no, I'll just whack a movie on or something. And then I saw the score and went, hang on a minute, Richmond are winning. I'm going to have to watch this. This could be quite amusing. And it actually wasn't a bad game. I think it's one of those things where the wet brings the better side down to the lesser side's level. It's a good even or upper, and I quite enjoyed it in the end. I was spewing that Richmond didn't get over the line, but
tough scenes.
Yeah, good. I'm glad it was that, even though the three. I think that was one of my Slevos that didn't hit, but I'd rather have a good game over that anyway. So
nice.
Yeah, good job.
And Sunday we had a Expansion Cup, and I would like very much to thank my beloved Suns for actually holding on to win this one 79-77. Awesome game. Absolutely awesome game. Matty Rao was absolutely off his head in this game. Absolutely stunning year. And by winning this, it basically ensured that GWS would stay at least a game behind Carlton going into the later game that day. Mm-hmm. And because Carlton obviously going to win, it's 2 games back now, and GWS got that bit of an uphill battle. But the Suns actually shining for once. Like, it needed to happen. The fact that it happened in, again, pissing down rain in bitterly cold Canberra was a bit of a shock, but it was still good. So I'll take that. Jed Walter, awesome. And Noah Anderson, Matty Rao, just carving it up. Clary just was all out of sorts. GWS are just, I don't know, rocking a hard place at this point, I think.
They're my biggest disappointment of the year.
Yep. The Suns are mine as well, but they at least finally snapped the 10-game losing streak, and when they needed to, and help out your mate Jim. West Coast 98, Collingwood on 117. This was a very entertaining game as well. Mostly because you've got it was like, here in Melbourne has been horrible weather the last couple of days. Smash cut to this game, the beautiful sunshine out in Perth, and it's just like afternoon, it's glorious. You're like, now I'm a bit jealous. Never really been jealous of Perth, but there you go. And it was a really good game.
It's probably 22, 23 degrees. And and I actually really enjoyed it. Collingwood just couldn't quite put the Eagles to bed. They had a couple of periods there where they would sort of kick a few goals in a row, and then all of a sudden the Eagles would, they'd take turns in kicking 2 or 3 goals, and I thought this could be a boil over. It wasn't quite, but I thought West Coast were really good. And again, it's good to have a game like this rather than a blowout, because you see a little bit of watching the Collingwood supporters freckles tighten is always fun. And nothing better than to see them lose to West Coast. Harley Reid was an interesting one too. They love to pot him in the commentary. Like, they just seem to. David King, I don't know what it is. He just, Harley Reid's old man must.
I just hate him, Jez.
I don't know what is it. They just got to put him. He should be playing forward. It's like, shut up, King. You're an idiot. I thought he was considering he basically got bashed from pillar to post early in the game, he was playing with a broken leg, 6 broken ribs, and a concussion, no doubt. I thought he was pretty good, and thought he held his head up high. So I think they just need to lay off him. He's a kid.
Yep. Dacos is very, 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 very good. That Brownlow is his.
Extremely good.
100. Schultz as well. They kept bang. Oh, you know that he used to play in Perth, Jez. They only mentioned it a couple of times.
Yes.
McStay was really good too. So I know for the Pies, like not having all like a big raft of their sort of veterans. What do they lose? Like I think it was like 1,200 AFL games weren't playing. They'd replace those guys with a bunch of dudes who played a total of 60 AFL games. So good win for the Pies because it sort of keeps them safe. Like I didn't dare dream after the Suns beat GWS. I'm like, oh, if West Coast can beat Collingwood, though, we might be able to, oh, look out. Here we go. Oh, no, they got him. And then obviously the big one, Sunday night footy. Sunday night football works if the matchup is good. Really simple. Don't be screwing around.
Yep.
Oh, it's a school night. It doesn't. Look, you can also just put on Sunday night football at 7, whatever. Just start it even a hint earlier. I do like the 6:40, 6:20 start on a Sunday night, whatever. I don't really care. But just make sure your matchups are good and it'll work. This was great. 106-62. Blues beat the Saints. Naz goes down. Blues sort of controlled it, but never really kicked away. The fact that the Saints sort of stuck around was like pretty nerve-wracking. And then they sort of just snuck out a couple here and there. Chera was absolutely amazing off half back. Pitto kicking 2 goals and letting TDK know about it was pretty fun too. But
I enjoyed
Harry, this game was won when Harry Mackay nearly went full Harry McFive. I did have the sneaky $10 on the Harry McFive each week. We do that. And when he kicked his third, he kicked a drop punt from the wrong side of his body, I think, as well. It might have been the best goal
and it was a beautiful.
I don't think I've ever seen him kick it better. It was absolutely remarkable. So that was good. Great win for the Blues because obviously, let's do the ladder check. Out of the bottom, now we're here. Essendon. Yeah, they're still
high.
2-19, 3-18. The Richmond Tigers. We did manage to predict their win last week. They might have another chance this week. I'm just saying. The Eagles, 4-17 in 16th. Port Adelaide, 6-15 in 15th. My beloved Suns, 8-13, wallowing in 14th. Then, still not technically out of it, the North Melbourne Kangaroos in 13th. 9-12, same as the GWS Giants and same as the St Kilda Saints. It is percentage that splits them at the moment. St Kilda 101.6, 98.9 for the Giants, 90.9 for the Roos. It's a tough one. The Roos now play Geelong this week, which is a big game for the Cats because we'll get to them in a second. Whereas GWS have the West Coast Eagles, St Kilda have Richmond, which is, I don't know, a bit tough with the Saints sort of with all these injuries. So who knows?
Yeah.
It'd be really fun if St Kilda lost that game, I'm just saying. The Blues, now 2 games up with 2 games to play, have to keep winning essentially to salt it away. If they can beat the Dogs this week, it's a lock. The Dogs are 1 game up on them. So this is a really, really big game.
And have locked in there.
They are locked into the top 10. And, yeah, fascinating setup for the Dogs. Don't know what to make of them after that Roos loss. Then you got the Pies in 8th with the 12-8-1 with that sneaky draw in there. So that's why the Cats sitting above them at 13-8. Alone on 52 points is very, very interesting. If the Cats can't put away the Roos, who knows what could happen? Pies could jump them, who knows? And on for young and old.
Or if they get docked premiership points.
Look out. Just kick them out. Simple as that. So, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Cats, Pies, Dogs, and Blues. Still a lot to be settled amongst all that. Least of all is like Carlton actually making the damn 10. So the top 6 on 14 and 7, you've got Melbourne, Adelaide, and Brisbane 4, 5, 6 with the Lions tops thanks to percentage by 0.2. Not bad. 2 points up on them
And then
at 14-6-1 as the Hawks after that loss. Huge game this week against the Pies. That's going to be awesome. I think it's Saturday night football? Saturday. Yep.
Saturday.
And then Sydney sitting pretty, hanging out in second, and Freo 18-3.
Yep.
Hugh in the rack. They don't need to play anyone this week or next week. I'm just saying, come on, Freo, rest everybody. So the permutations are
don't be surprised if they
4,
do.
5, 6 can change dramatically, considering they're all tied.
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, 9, 10 obviously can. 11, obviously, GWS and St Kilda are not out of it. So, but the Saints injuries, it's a little bit tougher. But I think they've got Richmond and then Gold Coast. So I don't know. Blues basically just have to beat the Dogs, and they're good.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think that North you can almost put a line through them. The only thing that keeps GWS in it, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that I'm just going to the draw. Is that they're playing the Eagles at home this week. Obviously, they need a couple of Carlton losses, and then who have they got in round 24, Jim? They have
Adelaide in Adelaide.
So the Carlton have got the Dockers. Yeah, so that's going to make it really hard. But if by then they will know if they're a chance. So let's say your beloved Blues get knocked off by the Dogs, which I don't know if that will happen. And then the Dockers decide not to field Peel Thunder in the last round and actually, roll in with some momentum. The Giants are a team that are capable of pulling off the win to get themselves there. I personally would rather see Carlton there because I don't think GWS have got enough to actually make a dent in any kind of way in the finals, even if it is a wild card. So I don't think it's going to happen, but North having Geelong and then Sydney away is, you've got to say, almost line through them. And the Saints, as you said, they're not, with all the injuries they have now, they're a little bit how you going. So, and then they play your beloved Suns in the final game. And you never know, the Suns could be on a 3-win streak by then. So, yeah, it's certainly up for grabs.
It really is.
That's for sure.
Right, let's do some awards from this week as well. Gablet Area's Best on Ground of the Week. Mine was Matt Rowell, Nick Dacos. You've got plenty of choices. I mean, LDU was incredible. But Rowell had 40 touches, 28 kicks, 12 handballs, 16 tackles, 17 clearances, gained 881 metres. I can't remember what his inside 50 numbers were as well, but it was absolutely mammoth. There was a great moment in this call where I think, the 16 tackles, Alistair Lynch said, I don't think I had that many in the 90s. I nearly fell off the couch. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard Alistair Lynch say. That was absolutely jaw-dropping. That was, the timing was awesome. Unbelievable. So that was pretty good. He was awesome.
He's actually underrated as a boundary rider.
He is. He gives it back, and he's kind of funny. He's very off the cuff. He's very relaxed, and I got a bit of time for him. Favorite son of old Fitzroy. And I mean, you sort of think about Rowell hasn't had too many of these games this year. This was an awesome time for him to do it in Canberra in the wet. It was an absolutely fantastic game. Dacos is really, really, really good, but Rowell basically just won that off his own back. It was unreal. So, yeah, he gets it for me.
Yeah.
How about you, Jess?
I'm going to go all the way back to Thursday night and go with LDU. He was 31 disposals, 2 goals, but he also had 10 tackles and 10 clearances. He basically put him on his back and said, come on, fellas, we'll go. And again, it's something they kept carrying on about in the commentary that, his best is great, but he's sort of coming along with the team. And I think he's got that ability to just win a game off his own boot, that old saying, but he was amazing. He wasn't alone. He sort of carried that. He didn't carry the team, but he willed the rest of the team along, and everyone there sort of played their part. I've got to give a special mention to Isaac Rankine, who was very good also. Apparently the one of the highest rated Supercoach maybe points games for the Adelaide Crows. So sorry to steal your thunder from Jim Does Supercoach. So check that out wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, they also may or may not have mentioned that quite a few times post game. But the fact that it was against Richmond kind of, doesn't really do it for me. But yeah, LDU, awesome.
Rankin,
Cracking
I
game.
had, was it 224? I think
Rankin
it was
awesome,
absolutely
also.
incredible. It was like, was it 36 disposals, I think, and a goal. But the thing was, it was like so gross and wet. I think he was traveling like 83% disposal efficiency or something, where I think 19 other players on the ground were like less than 64 or something. So yeah, that's
But he was picking the ball up like it was dry. Like he's a freak. There's no doubt about it. And you put a full season of Rankine fit, healthy, plugged in, ready to go, and you've got a Brownlow medalist.
He's awesome. Who am I buying a beer this week? That'd be Jay Clark. Love this. Enjoyed this all weekend. And I like that he's just sort of going hammer and tongs. So Robbo was on the front bar last week, and it was a great little throwback to just Robbo being Robbo and like how unhinged but unpretentious Robbo is and was as well, compared to like a lot of the other media heads that we have. And Jay Clark just sort of coming out swinging this weekend has been really, really fun. So I'd buy him a tin down there at PJ O'Brien's underneath the big tower down there in South Bank. I used to love that actually when I was at Triple J Mag, because that was in the same building, and we would go downstairs, like, this is like early teens or whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, cool. We're just hanging out. And you go into the PJs down there, and like, yeah, it'd be like every journo under the sun just sinking 1 million beers. You're like, oh, it's 4 p.m. So everyone's already here. They've filed their stories.
We actually went there. One of my best mates got married at the Treasury buildings, and we had they had a dinner there or a lunch for their reception. So very low key, but it was really cool. They had the Irish band playing there and the Irish music. So his father was from Ireland and had passed away the year before, a few months before his wedding. So it was, but yeah, it was a really, really cool place for that. So I know exactly what you mean. Really, really awesome little pub there, PJ. Yeah.
Have you got who are you buying a beer?
I do. I'm going to buy poor Cade Colajasny a beer down at Lammy's in Geelong. I'll take him out and shout him a couple of shots because it might be a retirement celebration. He's probably the one who's been forgotten about the most in this whole situation. And this has all gone on. All he wants to do is do what he loves and play footy. And unfortunately, he's found himself at the centre of something that's not going to go away for a long time, and he's going to be the face of it, along with quite a few other people who aren't on the field. But as far as the on-field face goes, it's him. So he's unfortunately probably going to be in for a lot more scrutiny, not of his doing, going forward. So I will buy him several beers.
Nice.
I think he's going to need them. Stress levels are going to be high, Jim.
I reckon.
So let's get him sloshed and drink away the sorrows.
Just stay out of Tyson Stengel's corner down there at Lammy's. And old mate No Mates, obviously.
He's got a wing down there, doesn't he?
Easy one for me for old mate No Mates this week. The two former Blues playing for the Saints, TDK and J-Sauce. Jack Silvani. Look, love Jack Silvani, but yeah, the Saints thing, his dad going to the Saints and TDK taking the bag, and yeah, people, again, you can boo former players for your team. Oh, he sacrificed and gave so much to the team. It's like, yeah, and then he left. So
then he took the bag.
We're passionate fans.
Took the bag.
So yeah, you can boo them both. Spud of the week, Wiz. It was horrible. Absolutely nowhere to be sighted on Friday night. It was hilarious. So I don't know.
I thought he went to Tassie, thinking they were playing in Tassie, but no,
I think I
was
saw
there.
more ads with him in it than him on the ground in that game on Friday. So what's the one that
I love casting spells.
I love casting the Seek? Yeah, Seek, isn't it, that he does it for? Brutal.
See, yeah. And it's in Hawthorn.
How about you, Jez? You got any spuds?
I have the AFL.
Yep.
For all the reasons we spoke about at the start of the show. Just, yeah, can't get out of their own way sometimes. Oh, and Ben Mackay.
I think
for no other reason than he is Ben Mackay.
Someone said it really, really well that Andrew Dillon is like the world's most talented 2IC, but he's in charge. And you're like, that is the most perfect read of the situation I've ever seen. He's very smart, very bright, but he's a 2IC that's like sitting there next to you explaining in his dumb lawyer speak things that you need to take into account. But when you thrust him in the spotlight, it just all falls apart. Better than Bootsma. I mean, I can just do Harry Dean again. I could do Jagger again. But Harvey Langford, he's only in his second year, I think, as well, isn't he? He was awesome in that game. Took basically one of the marks of the year as well. He was absolutely I love him. That is a really good footballer.
Yeah. He's a
just does everything really well. And yeah, appreciate him. Have you got a better than Bootsma?
I'm going to go with your boy Jagger. He was, he plays like he's been there for 10 years.
It's remarkable.
And him, Sam Walsh, Chera, like all those guys they brought in, even George Hewitt, even though he did a wizard in the second half. I think Hewitt had 20 disposals at half time and then did the Nick Watson and, went to look for a job on Seek. But Jagger just, he's almost like that glue now under Josh Fraser that's holding that midfield together, which is really strange to say about a kid in his first full year of footy, because without him, he'd be that missing link if he wasn't playing. He just does so much of the gut running and the hard work. I don't even know his stats. I'm purely going off the game. Well, obviously watch the game. Him, Harry Dean, they're going to be your two captains in 5-6 years' time. That you're just going to go. These two boys are just out of control with how good they are. So I'm just having a quick squizzle to see how he went in the old stats game. It wasn't the highest stats game for him. I think he was 21. There you go, 21 disposals, and Billy Wilson had 21 as well.
Billy butchered it a couple of times.
He just did everything. He did. He wasn't great with the footy.
Billy,
but
Jagger was he's a fascinating one as Billy Wilson, because he has this reputation for being really good with the ball, and then he'll pull off a couple of kicks where you're like, that was awesome, and then 2 or 3 times a game you're like, that was the worst kick I've ever seen on a football field.
Are you Lockie? Was it Lockie Young or Harry Young or whichever one? Yeah. I do have to give a special mention, and it's only because of one play in the same game. Sorry, Lewis Young. That's who I was thinking. Taylor Byrne. There was a play there in the last quarter where he grabbed the footy and just ran at 2 players, and it was almost like they just parted and went, nah, we're not getting in the way of that. And then he snapped. He didn't kick the goal, but I think it was Will Hayward marked it right on the boundary line. And I saw that coming, and I thought, this kid's going to just take everyone on here. And then he just cut left and went straight through the pack. And I thought, oh, no, he's going to get nailed. But they were not having a bar of it. And I just love the way he goes at it like 100 miles an hour. He also
cleaned up.
He's just...
On that same wing, I think a couple of plays beforehand, he cleaned up somebody as well. It's like he's like 5'2".
Yes, with the chase down, and he just absolutely nailed him. You love seeing that stuff.
He's the best. I could have also done a bit of a old mate, no mates with Harry Mackay, because after he kicked that goal, there's an incredible slow-mo replay where he goes to high five first Matty Cottrell and accidentally slaps him in the face. And then double high fives Jagger Smith and slaps him in the face. I'm like, I think Harry's just doing this on purpose at this point. So, anyway.
I think he might need to get his prescription looked at.
Yep. Very quickly, 2 ENRs for you, Jez. Will the AFL throw the book at Geelong ENR?
Nah, but they should.
I'll pay that.
100% they should. And I don't think they would, not to the extent that they should. They'll probably come out with something that's stupid like a $50,000 fine, which is, a drop in the ocean for Geelong. When really this should be, as I said earlier, this should be treated in the same vein as performance-enhancing drugs, whether it's a whole club or a player. This should be treated in the same vein as salary cap rorting. It's up there with that and should be treated in the same way. So the punishment should fit the crime. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the AFL don't seem to think that's the case when it comes to Geelong.
Yep. The wild card. Has it been a successful rollout in his first year? What do you reckon? Because I think if we still had the top 8, you'd have Geelong, Collingwood, Western Bulldogs and Carlton all desperately trying to claw into these last 2 spots in the last 2 weeks. But it'd also be mostly over. So whereas the 10, at least there's still a lot more jockeying for position, and 10, 11, 12 is still undecided. So what do you reckon, Jez? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's kept, well, like you said, we've got down to 12 teams who are still 13, I think, if you count North Melbourne, who are mathematically a chance. So you've got 13 out of the 18 teams who are still mathematically a chance to play a form of finals. So really, at round 22, when was the last time you could say that team in 13th spot are a mathematical chance of playing in the grand final?
Yep. I like it.
Never.
I'm here for it because my Blues are in 10th. I think it's great. Josh?
It might be the only way that Essendon win a final before it gets to 10,000 days. So that's also, I'm here for it in that regard.
Nice. All right, round 23 preview. No Thursday game this week. We've got AFLW instead. We do have Friday, Freo Adelaide, which is an absolute ripper. And the Dockers are 21.5-point favourites out west. Jez, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go with the Crows to cover. And the reason is because I think that Freo will start to manage themselves from here.
I think Freo are going to be a little bit too good.
I think they'll win. They'll win, but I think that they'll do enough to keep themselves in front. And yeah, I think Adelaide might be able to keep this one close.
Nice. I think the playing in the wet, then going west, taking on Freo. I kind of want to take Adelaide, but I think Freo I'm going to go again with them. The only difference we had this week, this past round, was Freo, and that was it, I think. I had Freo, you had Melbourne, so you got that one. And yeah, I just don't want to go against Freo. Like, it just feels bad, so I don't want to do it. We then have Richmond hosting St Kilda. Big game, this one. The Tigers are 22.5-point underdogs against the Saints. No Naz, no Mason Wood. Jack Higgins might kick 6, but I don't know. Am I crazy?
He also might not turn.
Yeah, I might just take the Tigers, 22.5. They're playing with a bit of heart. They're at the G. The Saints don't play there ever, so let's go. Can't Tigers?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Tigers. Why not? I think it's either going to be a 10-goal win to St Kilda, or Richmond will get over the line, or at least cover.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We have Roos Cats at Marvel Saturday afternoon. Really fun game. 22.5 points. I think that has now changed to down from 23.5. Okay. So I don't know. The Roos, I'm going to take North Melbourne at Marvel. I think the Cats should be fine, but there's just enough doubt in my mind that the Roos could at least make a real good game of this, because they do tend to play pretty well at Marvel, and off we go.
I'm going to take North, but I think they're going to win.
Nice. Go Roos.
Because I think Geelong are that odd. They're that odd thing where you think they're cruising along nicely, and then or they say there's nothing wrong, that business as usual, and then they come out and get done by a team they should beat by 6 goals. So that's what I'm hoping
Big
for.
emotion.
I'm right. I'm on the Roos. Come on.
Emotional week. Lions, Gold Coast. It's a Q clash Saturday, Arvo. And
Hope it's better than the last
Lions
one.
32.5-point favourites at home at the Gabba. I think they cover that one too. I think they're going to smash the Suns. I think, the Lions lost to the Blues was the wake-up call, I reckon, of just them sort of going, we're fine.
And, yeah, they did lose. They did get smashed at a similar time last year, I believe, Brisbane. And, look what happened then. So, I think Brisbane, but I'm tempted to take Gold Coast, but no, I'll stick with Brisbane.
Then we've got the big one, Hawthorn, Collingwood, Saturday night. The Hawks are 19.5-point favourites over Collingwood. And I hate this, but I think I'm going to take the Pies.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in the Hawks. However, I know how they bounce. They do bounce. When they do lose a game like that, they tend to bounce back and bounce back hard. So I'm going to take the Hawks. But in saying that, I just like to put it on the record that it wouldn't surprise me if the Hawks get done because, as I said earlier, pretenders.
So they drew, obviously, earlier this year, and Hawks killed them last year, but then also got killed by the Pies last year. So figure that one out. It's just they're just trying to split the middle. So, so you're going Hawks in the end?
I'm going to go Hawks. Yeah.
Port Adelaide, Melbourne is the final game Saturday night. The Power are 24.5-point underdogs, apparently, against the D's. I don't like that at all. I think the Power are cooked. Like, it's all over Red Rover. They've got no dudes left. I'm going to go the Demons.
Yeah, I mean, after they beat the team that's probably going to win the flag, I have to go the Demons. How could you go for Port right now?
It's like, I get that the Melbourne aren't playing at the MCG, but still, they're very good.
It's Port. And Port are the opposite of that, not very
Then we have GWS playing the Eagles at NG, 33.5-point favourites against the Eagles. What do you reckon here, Jez?
I'm going to go the Eagles.
Nice.
I think that's way too
Yeah,
high
a
for the
lot of
Giants.
points.
What have the Giants shown that would make people think that they can win a game there? They just lost to a team that doesn't win below the 28th parallel in Canberra. What? I don't get that line. That is ridiculous.
I'm taking GWS. I need to start pulling back a few from you, I think, at this point. And caution to the wind. West Coast coming east, going to NG. I reckon GWS just smash them. I hope.
That's the other side of my tip there, is that I can afford to be a little bit I don't even know the word. Like I said, I can't talk today, Jim. I've just lost all ability to articulate.
Dogs, 5.5-point.
Yet I say articulate.
There you go. Dogs are 5.5-point underdogs at home against the Blues. These two teams have already played this year. And, I mean, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in this game. Carlton beat them.
Well, I'll go first then, and I'm going to take the Blues.
Yeah, I think we're playing.
I think the Blues.
We're playing better than them at the moment, so I'll put my faith in my beloved Blues. They beat them 74-62 earlier this year, back in May.
That was the one that started it all.
It was, and it was like a bit sort of against the grain. You're like, ooh, look out! And then by the time they beat Geelong, not long after that, I think. But yeah, I think all of these games that they play are like weirdly, annoyingly close. So I think I've now hit upon my strategy of not being around my family while watching these games. Because,
can't believe you put that on public record.
It's just
I'm tipping they don't listen.
It's a little bit stressful while you're watching them, and like you've got a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old like yammering at you the entire time. Whereas being at the pub and being able to like just lock in to the actual game, it's weirdly.
If it makes you feel any better, when they get to about 20 and your team's getting flogged, you just get a message, "Hey, Dad, your team sucks."
Tracks. And then we've got,
And
to finish off, Essendon, Sydney, 61.5 point underdogs, your Dons. Will they cover that against Sydney?
Sydney. No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they will either. So there is 5 separating us so far this season. You're up to 99. I'm on 94 after the one difference this week. So, yeah, edging back up towards the 6-pack. So what's that, a couple different this week? 2,
Yeah, I think
3,
we
I
got
think.
3.
Nice. That's good. All right. Finally, Slevo's Punters Club. I did have the Wizards 3+ last week. That was horrible. What a disaster. The other one I did have was Harry McFive, and that came very, very close. There was a good one that I actually had. What day was that, though? Let's have a look. Because I think after we taped, I was like, ooh, I don't mind that one. Ended up banging it in, and it won. Yeah, it was like a big Swans one that hit, and then there was another one before that. It's annoying that I can't find it. Oh, the over of Dogs and North Melbourne was 174.5.
Oh, you're joking.
And it was...
Because what was that? That was 100 to 77.
And it was absolutely hilarious because I'm pretty sure the way they got to that 77, Jez, was Luke Parker, after the siren, kicking a goal to get the over, and your mate Jim just being, I can't believe that actually went in my favour for once. Unbelievable. Blew my mind. So I was very, very happy with that. This week, I'm going to go the Essendon Sydney over because I think this is what will happen. Like Sydney will put up 140, Dons will get 50. So I think
What is the over?
I don't know if we'll have one yet, but my guess would be like around 180.
Yeah, it's probably a bit early, isn't it?
180 or so would be my guess. Yeah, the line's 61. We don't have over-unders yet, I think. No. So, yeah. But I reckon the over-under, if it's around that 180, 184, I reckon Sydney can put just like a world of hurt on them. So that's probably where I'm at. Charlie would probably be, if he does play, Charlie 4+ is probably the easy one there too. I think another good one is probably Heaney, like 24 odd and a goal, sort of slowly working back into a nice bit of form. And Chad Chunley-Warner, 24 and a goal as well. So there's a couple of, one of my big things has always just been loading up on really good teams playing really bad teams and sort of comboing a couple of those. That worked out for me, I think, in Sydney's game this week. So, yeah. But Charlie 4+, Essendon Sydney over, Sunday night, bring us home. How about you, Jess?
Well, I had as we mentioned, the Sydney Geelong Adelaide at the line, and that one just missed by about 50 points. Thank you very much, Richmond. But that's okay. I am going to go with a little bit of a one from left field, but I'm going to go with Charlie, if he plays, Harry, and Jai, a miss to not a miss, but I'm going to go for all three of them to combine for 10 goals plus. Now, you can set that up whichever way you want, but I reckon that's pretty good.
I like it.
So
Harry against the Dogs would be interesting.
His best this year has been 3. So the Dogs' defence is, aside from Buku Kamas, who will probably get Harry, I think that their defence is struggled, and I think if he's gonna get that 5, then it's gonna happen this week, because I can't see him doing it against Freo unless they do actually roll out the Peel Thunder. So, and then Jai miss probably kick 3. Charlie will kick probably 8 to 10 on his own if he plays against Essendon in the first half.
I like it.
So.
Nice. I was also, because I was looking at like Logan Morris against the Suns and that back. I know it's just a weird one, the Q clashes. I'm just not entirely sure. But I do like Brisbane to sort of win that one pretty handily, so I'll probably jump on Logan Morris too. But anyway, I think that's it. All right. so round 22 in the bag. That's your round 23 preview in there too. So that's, all wrapped up very nicely for you. So make sure you follow us on all the socials. What do we have? With the power rankings this week, they were exceptionally long. I'm like, this format really annoys me. But anyway, we got there. And so make sure you subscribe on your podcast app of choice, on YouTube. Jump in the comments, send through any nahs. I don't know. Don't get us to sign any waivers. I don't want to take any missteps, Jez.
I'm pretty sure I misstepped most of my life, but that's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, there you go.
I'll sign a waiver if I get paid. Wait, what?
That's it, though.
Good luck to everyone playing in local footy finals. I know some leagues have kicked off, others haven't. Juniors are well into it. Zach's team won their semi-final yesterday, straight through the grand final in 2 weeks. And Luke's team, Learmont, they can't miss finals. There's still a chance to get the double chance. If they have a good win on the weekend, they'll stay alive, but they're going to make finals at this stage. So, yeah, it's heating up, mate. The finals are around the corner. So, yeah, if you can't get to an AFL final, go and have a look at some local footy because there's some good games out there.
Nice. Well, I think I'll be watching the Carlton game on Sunday at the Railway Hotel again in Brunswick just because love that big screen.
That sounds like a good plan, Jim. It sounds like a good plan.
Just so I don't have a 3-year-old yammering at me the entire time while I'm stressing out of my brain. But that's it.
I'll be up at Ballarat watching footy on Saturday arvo in the freezing cold winter air.
All right. Anything else there, Jez? All good? All done?
That's it,
all right.
Mate.
Until next week, stay off the rubbish gear. It's Footy Unfilterated. We'll catch you next week.
So, yeah.